Hello friend. In today's video we will be making gluten-free marble loaf. So if that's something you want to see, then do not adjust your screen. So it's marble loaf, but it's more of a pound cake, but gluten-free. Alright, so I have 1.5 cups of sugar and 1 cup of butter softened in here. I'm going to cream that together quick.
You can do this in a mixer if you want to. It's just our KitchenAid is massive.
Yeah.
And dragging it out to make a quick loaf like this just isn't always the first thing to think of. So.
Yeah, usually not. But hey, it comes in handy when you're making
French macaron.
Or marshmallow fluff.
Yes.
Alright, so then we're going to add 3 eggs and mix in between each egg for a couple of seconds.
We'll come back when you've got all your eggs in one bowl.
Hello. You can film me. Of course you do. Of course, every time I'm like, oh, pause so that, mixing. Because I make funny faces at her while I mix, then of course she starts it while I'm mixing because why not?
Funny.
Alright. Okay. So, the original recipe calls for vanilla. I don't like vanilla. I have 2 teaspoons of almond extract because that's what I like. I like almond. However, you could also do it with orange or with peppermint around Christmas time, and that would be really nice.
Yeah.
I personally think.
Most orange and peppermint go good with chocolate.
Exactly.
Almond goes great with
chocolate. Yeah, that's why we do almond. So I have 1 1/3 cups of gluten-free flour. We have a little box out today because I just took one out. So this is the flour we get. And then I have, the original recipe calls for 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. I have 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I have 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder because gluten-free flour is really dense. So I also have the oven turned up higher than the recipe calls for. It says 325 and bake it for like an hour. Except every time I've done that, it's too soft in the middle. And then in order to bake it long enough that it's not soft in the middle, you end up with a burnt top. So 350 for 45 minutes will give us that little bit of lift without it being too fluffy, because you still want it to be a pound cake, but it doesn't need to be so dense that it doesn't bake properly.
But it's a brick. It's a pound cake, not a pound brick.
Yes. So I'm going to mix in my flour and my sour cream alternately. I don't really know if it's necessary to do this with gluten-free, but I do it anyway.
Gluten-free, but
yeah, with regular it is, but with gluten you're not, or with gluten-free you're not activating the glutens. But I do it because it's whatever.
And I think it hydrates it too.
Better, yeah.
And gluten-free flour is always too dry.
Yeah, that is why. Sorry, my sour cream is 1/2 cup and a tablespoon, because I did extra sour cream instead of extra butter. Just because I find pound cake, if you do extra butter, then it's too buttery. It's greasy.
Yeah, it's greasy.
It's greasy.
It's because you're on your cord.
Yeah, I know. I know. Well, I'm also kind of shoved in the corner here.
Yes.
Because of my cord. Damn cord.
And we'll be right back when we're all mixed up.
Yep. So just be careful when you are mixing that the batter doesn't crawl up your beaters, because once it crawls up, it's just going to keep crawling up. Don't know how that works, but it does. And then do, of course, scrape down in between. I'm going to take about 1/2 of our batter into another receptacle. I feel like I should be doing this with my bigger thing. Spatula, but I know I'm going to want to mix it with the little spatula, so meh.
Hey man, you do you.
Exactly. Makes it more fun.
There's no rule.
No. I mean,
the only rule is
to use
spatula.
A spatula. Yeah. The only rule is to use a spatula. How you use said spatula, that is up to you. I do have the other spatula for this because I'll need that for when I'm scooping it into the
Coffee pan.
that was loud. And then I have 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder and 2 teaspoons of espresso powder.
And what espresso powder do you use?
Not sponsored, but the Nescafe Gold espresso powder.
That's because we drink it every day
Yeah.
too.
That's mostly just because we always have that on hand.
But it does mix in well. Like
It's because it's very fine. Like I have instant coffee. I feel like I should have picked a bigger bowl, but
You're fired.
You know what? See, I hate cocoa sometimes. That's right, because I need my smaller, funnily enough, I need an even smaller spatula. This one has too much surface area. Anyway, we were going somewhere with the coffee. Yes, I have instant coffee that I use for iced coffee, but instant espresso just mixes in better with everything.
And it makes a great Americano.
Yes, which is what we drink every morning. All right, if you don't put it in a bigger bowl, then you end up covering chocolate in a not fun way, and it looks like I murdered Count Chocula. It's fine, it mixed. Note to future AJ, just use one of the metal bowls. I was like, oh, I'll be pretty and aesthetic. I'm not aesthetic.
You're not aesthetic.
No. Clearly. Bloop.
The original recipe says put water in with that.
With what?
With the cocoa.
Right, yes, and I don't. Why didn't I?
Because it didn't work out very well.
Yeah.
Way harder to mix in, actually.
Because it almost makes it like a paste instead of just mixing in the cocoa.
And the baked product was wetter.
Yeah.
And it didn't bake as well.
Yeah, because the first time I didn't do it, and then the second time I did, and I'm like, why did this not turn out as well? So, if you're using regular flour, it might. If you're using gluten free,
Not so
just
much.
pick a bigger bowl than I did and take your time.
So you're just kind of alternating back and forth between the vanilla and the chocolate.
And then I'll grab out a knife. Listen, when it comes out, it looks all pretty. It doesn't have to be pretty when you're making it. It's more fun when it's not, honestly. If you're not having fun, what's the point?
It's never going to be perfect
I'm not Martha Stewart.
portion of black or chocolate and white
No.
or vanilla and whatever it is. It's going to taste good no matter what you do.
Exactly. You just want the separate so that you're like, oh, look, it's pretty and I did something and it looks mildly impressive even though you didn't really do that much.
You did. And it's great.
Exactly. As long as you keep your hands clean, just use your finger to get it off the big spatula.
Who's eating this? We are.
Exactly, that too.
We're not serving us the company. We are the company.
I don't really have a lot of people over. This freezes great, by the way. I think Mom's decided that the best way to eat it is if I pre-slice it and then freeze it.
Yes.
And
I literally love it frozen.
we like freezable things because then you can make what you want when you want to.
And you don't have to be like, oh, we have to eat this whole thing.
No.
And you can have whenever you want without being like, oh, I have to make a whole cake and eat the whole cake. You can make a whole cake, or you can make half a cake. You can make a quarter of a cake. You can freeze 3/4 of it.
And see what you want to do with it afterwards. And be like, oh, hey, look at that.
Don't buy things, like food things. Because I'm gluten-free, AJ bakes everything. So it makes sense that we would just always have those things on hand for when we want them, as opposed to buying the packaged stuff.
And then hoping that the packaged stuff
Tastes good.
Yeah, because how many
Or
times we've
lasts.
gotten something like, oh, this looks really, and it does not.
No.
The what was it, the Char? How do you say
Yes.
that? Yeah,
Sure.
Char is it's a good product, but it goes bad really, really fast because there's a lot of yeast in it, and I've literally seen it in the store moldy, which I don't say is to them. That's probably the store not storing it right. But so I do find it easier we make stuff at home. Except for bread. I don't make our bread. We use promise bread for that.
You have made focaccia.
Yes,
which
I
has
make.
been
I
very
have,
good.
I have my focaccia recipe, which turned out great.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's promise bread.
Yeah.
But for baked goods, there's a gluten-free bakery in town here, and we've purchased from them, and everything is always dry.
Yeah.
Or tasteless, and it's not worth it.
Yep. We're pickier than that.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it right.
If you're gonna do it right.
Cookie wise, we've had like some decent cookies and stuff over the years. Italian bakery or Italian stores will often have really good and decently priced packaged gluten-free cookies. So that is something to keep an eye out if you're going
But
to.
they're Italian.
Yeah.
They're not North American.
Yeah. It's not always what you're looking for. All right, so I'm gonna pop this in the oven for about 45 minutes. Check on it.
What does that look like?
What does it look like?
Looks like
It
that.
looks like a loaf.
Awesome.
It's in there. It looks really sturdy. It's gonna feel kind of heavy. It'll fluff up a little bit, not too much, and it should fluff up and then shrink a little bit down after you have it cool. We will be back probably tomorrow to finish filming. So when it comes out, it'll be poofier and have cracks. If you remember to put a line, it'll crack where your line is. Otherwise, it'll just crack. And then I rarely ever remember to pick up toothpicks, but I do have a nice marshmallow skewer that I use to always test. Comes out clean, and we will let it cool, and then we like to let it sit for the day. It's always better the next day. Alright, so here we are the next day. I had it wrapped in saran wrap, not just, free-balling it and getting dry at night. Free loafing it. So it has now sunk down. Did film a little bit.
Give it a little tilt.
Give it a little tilt.
There you
Sunk
go.
it in a bit. Oop, if I can grab it. I usually cut it in half the night before, but I didn't this time because I didn't. And then, alright, so we're just going to always cut it in half because I put it in 2 different containers. And then cut the end off.
Hey, no pound cake for you.
Yeah, Misty wants to eat a pound cake in under a minute. Misty. So now it's nice, it's marbled, it's soft. Mom can come have a little piece if she wants to. It's got a nice, I don't know, would you call that a crust to it?
A nice crumb.
Crumb.
The proper pound cake crumb.
Proper pound cake
Pound
crumb.
cake crumb.
Chewy. Despite the fact that you put a lot of sugar in it, it's not that sweet.
No, it's very, very good. It's always
Sour
very
cream
good.
kind of counteracts that. I would suggest about 50 minutes. I'll put down my recipe, the original recipe down below. Goes great with coffee, freezes great. Until next time, stay caffeinated, stay cozy.